But what's gotten so many people involved in this story is the response times from the fire department. Yellow caution tape is extending all over the Isle of Palms Marina. Now, just a little bit ago, the police extended the perimeter. Now, it's hard to believe that a piece of meat this small actually comes from something this big. But hey, here's the question everyone wants to know. What's gator meat taste like? Well, not chicken. Folly Beach residents, they're going to bed by turning off their lights tonight, something they weren't able to do throughout the day. Let's ride one of the rides. So hey, let's end this tour of the fair on a high note. If you live right around Rutledge Avenue, well, if there's a knock on your door tonight and you see a firefighter, hey, that's actually a good thing to keep the roads safe this weekend. If you see someone you might think is driving drunk, then you can actually get out your cell phone. Federal boating regulation states that for every person on board, there must be a life jacket available. Now, I am standing here with the goat that earlier it was totally calm and it was relaxing. I don't know what he's doing now. Maybe he found out that tomorrow morning he actually has an appointment to get neutered. Maybe he's trying to break out, I'm not sure.
The now former principal and coach faces 5 counts of sex and lewd acts against minors.
He appeared before a bond judge for the second time this morning. News 2's Laura Hettiger attended that bond court hearing and has the latest on this developing story.
Something else is revealed on Skipperville's second day in bond court. The Mount Pleasant Police Department tells us that they're investigating the possibility that the former principal and coach was a licensed foster parent in South Carolina.
They were charged with 2 charges, 2 counts of lewd act on a minor.
Lewis Skipperville's most recent bond court appearance leaves him facing a total of 3 counts of criminal sexual misconduct and 5 counts of lewd sex acts on a minor. Accusations that tout a bond of $1,075,000. Craig Jones Jr. represents the former principal and coach. Reville's attorney assures Judge Lombard
he is going to continue to cooperate with law enforcement.
He assures the media of Reville's remorse.
He is extremely remorseful to both the victims, to their families, to the schools that he was involved with and the programs that he was involved with, and to what this does to them.
Reville's attorney wouldn't comment on whether his client's remorse is an admittance, but he says this type of case is his least favorite to defend and isn't sure if more counts will come in the future.
I really don't know what to expect, and again, I am getting into this also, and I will be getting with law enforcement and talking with the officers involved in that.
A state-appointed social worker isn't sure if these are the last counts Reville will face either.
There may be more charges coming. Am I right or wrong? You don't know.
Yes, Your Honor.
Each of the 8 counts Reville faces all share several similarities. So far, all of the charges allegedly happened between November 2010 and October of this year. All happened on Mount Pleasant roadways. All involved boys between the ages of 13 and 15. And according to the affidavits, all admitted to by Reville in personal statements. In the newsroom, Laura Hettiger, News 2.
News 2's Laura Hettiger has the latest on South Carolina's impact on the GOP race.
Mitt Romney greeted South Carolina voters to discuss his plans for the presidency and toured one of the Palmetto State's most controversial and biggest employers.
That Boeing factory. And talk about what implications that factory has and the decision of President Obama's labor policy folks have on jobs here in South Carolina and, frankly, jobs for the entire country.
The former Massachusetts governor has a very simple, very direct message for his audience, that he would prohibit the NLRB from trying to stop Boeing and its potential job growth in South Carolina.
I'd also encourage states, if I'm President of the United States, to do what South Carolina has long done, and that is protect the right of workers to decide whether they want to be a member and join a union by enacting right-to-work legislation.
Aside from the crowd's approval, Romney also received an endorsement from his former foe, Minnesota Governor Tim Pawlenty.
He is the most capable, most knowledgeable, most electable candidate in this race by far, and I'm honored and privileged and excited to support him as our next President of the United States. Thank you very much.
If Romney becomes the GOP candidate, don't expect any Romney-Pawlenty 2012 campaign signs. Although Pawlenty says he supports his friend, he has no intentions of becoming Romney's running mate. In North Charleston, Laura Hettiger, News 2. Hurricane Irene smashed into Folly Beach Friday afternoon, leaving little in her wake.
Today is the loss of many years of accumulation of dunes, of beach, and of the protection for the island.
In time, her destruction will be fixed. But Irene's impact on people, on friends, could last a lifetime.
The beach is probably not going to be what it used to be, and I bring my family here, but I also come here with vacation with friends as we do each year. And so it's going to be different probably in the future.
Reginald Pilcher and Robert Rafith are just two of the thousands who vacation on Folly Beach every year. It didn't take long for the duo or anyone else watching Irene to realize her dangers. Luckily, Irene didn't take any South Carolina prisoners with her, but the island's infrastructure took a quick and a nasty beating.
An hour, they're gone. And we've all seen them fall. People out here just kind of watch this phenomenon, but it is quite an interesting thing to watch.
After 15 years of vacationing together at Folly, Pilcher and Rafith join another group. They're now part of the ones who watched and survived Hurricane Irene. It's a bonding experience that, like the storm herself, only actually lasts a few hours, but will be remembered forever.
Well, we will come back if we're alive, and I think it will be the same in many respects, but things change, and this is a blip in the change. We hope that it's not going to be worse.
News 2's Laura Hettiger joins us from Folly Beach, where, Laura, you've had an opportunity to talk to folks all day and to observe firsthand the beach erosion that's happening.
You're right, Carolyn. And over the last hour, the conditions here at Folly Beach have greatly intensified. I want to show you something right now. Check out these waves. They keep rolling and rolling in. Over the last hour or so, they've gotten so much higher and so much more intense, but there's still surfers out there. As we go a little closer inland, you will start checking out all the beach erosion that people have been talking about. These waves have been crashing into this big wall of sand that doesn't really exist anymore. I was talking to a guy earlier. He says he hasn't seen rocks like that in the 15 years he's been coming here. Something else you notice, all the debris that's now in the water. There's a big fence that's totally been ripped down. Parts of the pier that I'm standing on have actually been ripped out. Now that's a big problem for all the surfers that are still out in the water. Not only could they actually be sucked out to sea, but they have the chance of actually getting hit by that debris too. And as the high tide gets worse, they're really worried about flooding along Ashley Avenue. Live on Folly Beach, Laura Hettiger, News 2.
Of course, Laura, we remind you to be careful. We don't want you to be standing on anything that might go into the water.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
You are taking a look live with our fair cam. Laura Hettiger is there right now and joins us with all that you will get to see and do and enjoy while at the Coastal Carolina Fair. And Laura, this is your first time visiting our fair, isn't it?
It is my first time visiting this awesome fair. I'm from Illinois. We do not have fairs like this back in the Midwest, so I am so happy to be at the Coastal Carolina Fair. Now it's Friday night, the kids are out of school, the parents are off of work. They are all right here in Ladson enjoying this awesome fair. Now, some of the things you can do if you decide to come to the fair, obviously ride some rides. The Ferris wheel all lit up, just ready for you to go on it. Now, there are a ton of different food stands available. I've heard all about this fried Kool-Aid that I have to try out. There's also lots of games for lots of opportunities for you to win lots of prizes. Now, earlier, I did tell you in the 5 o'clock that we were going to give you a tour of the Coastal Carolina Fair that you've never seen before. Unfortunately, I can't do that. It will be up on our website later, counton2.com. But Carolyn, I have been so busy being an investigative journalist, and I can tell you exactly what is in a poor man's caramel apple, or actually what used to be in a poor man's caramel apple. Guys, I ate it all. I can take all the credit for it. Now, it was a delicious green apple, lots of ice cream, lots of hot fudge on it, and in a waffle bowl. It was delicious. That's just one of about the 10 fair foods I've tried out here tonight. I can tell you, if you're hungry, get on out here to Ladson. You won't be disappointed.
Yeah. Hey, Laura, have you seen the big turkey legs out there?
Yeah.
The big turkey legs. Have you seen those yet?
I haven't seen any big turkey legs
Oh
yet.
my
Sounds
gosh.
pretty yummy though, especially with Thanksgiving right around
They
the
aren't
corner.
hard to
I might have to
find.
go find that.
They aren't hard to
Gotta
find
the
or
turkey
smell.
legs. Yeah, just ask around. Ask people about the turkey legs, and then be careful how you
will.
say it, because someone think you may be saying something offensive. They'll realize pretty quickly you mean the food item. So, all right, check that
Great.
out. We look forward to it.
News 2's Laura Hettiger live at the Coastal Carolina Fair. She's having fun, isn't she?
She
She's
is having
excited.
fun. That's what happens
Yeah.
the first time out there. Following closely.
Yes, we are. News 2's Laura Hettiger joins us from there. Laura, quite a sight to see if you were golfing on the 8th and 9th hole at Rivertown today.
That's right, Brendan. Earlier, a two-person twin-engine plane made an emergency landing just about a quarter of a mile behind me after the pilot radioed the Charleston Air Force Base saying he couldn't make it to his original destination of the Charleston Airport. Now, while this location is close to Mount Pleasant's airport, the pilot was directed to land here in the marsh near the 9th hole at the Rivertown Country Club. Now, the plane's two passengers are safe, and they walked off the plane before
right
being
there.
transported from the scene. But people who saw and heard the quick landing say the rescue, just like Brendan said, it made for quite an interesting afternoon of golf.
The two firemen looked like they got a little bit stuck in the pluff mud, and then various other rescue vehicles began to come, including two boats, and there was an airboat as well that came to make the rescue. So the entire time everybody seemed to be safe, and I'm pleased to say that, you know, it looks like that. Everything turned out fine for everybody.
Other first responders told me that the plane's makeshift landing pad actually turned out to be a pretty good runway. The marsh lining the golf course is hard enough for people to walk and apparently a plane to land. Live in Mount Pleasant, Laura Hettiger, News 2.
Laura, we know that you haven't been out there for a long period of time, but was there any sign of the pilot?
Once we got out here, the pilot had actually already been transported to another place by one of the emergency crews. So I have not been able to talk to him. However, I think you guys just saw someone roll up behind me. He's the guy who saw the plane go down, and he described to me that it looked like a boat was falling out of the air.
All right, I imagine it was quite a sight out there.
right.
Laura Hettiger, thanks.
Thanks, Laura. The plane will remain in the marsh overnight. The